Congrats. You won. Hopefully you can win with class, while many of us try to deal with the loss with dignity. Because let's be honest, there are those people who are scared and have every right to be. I'm not mad at, nor do I hate Trump supporters. At least not all of them. But this is a man who has a record of refusing to rent to black tenants since the 1970s. This is a man who called for the execution of 5 innocent men who were of color for a crime they didn't even commit. This is a man who made fun of a reporter who was disabled, and some of you laughed with him about it. This is a man who is on record saying that there are fine people on both sides. And when one of those sides were white supremacists, you said this was okay. This is a man who declared bankruptcy 6 times and still declares himself a strong businessman. And you think that he has the policies that will benefit you and that he is a financial genius. This is a man who has gone after and belittled the LGBTQ community multiple times, including a really shitty campaign commercial where he depicts a man in a dress. And you fucking people laughed at it because it was somehow funny. Funny how many of you are still in fucking junior high. This is a man who is proud of the fact that he has taken away a woman's right to choose by overturning Roe v. Wade. What happens when that negatively affects you personally? And how many men are willing to get a mandatory vasectomy in order to prevent unwanted pregnancies? This is a man who cowered to and idolizes dictators like Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, Viktor Orban, and the King of Saudi Arabia. Hell, he's even praised Hitler in the past. And this is a guy who said he kind of wants to be a dictator from day one. But that's cool. This is a man who aligned himself with the evangelist Christians. All this when he cheated on wife number 1 with wife number 2. He cheated on wife number 2 with, well, the woman who became wife number 3. And then he cheated on a pregnant wife number 3 with a fucking porn star. And he had to pay hush money to that porn star in the end. But I guess, your whole idea that you're the party of family values, that's just bullshit. This is a man who indeed does have ties to the Project 2025 manifesto. And if he does indeed follow anything associated with it, then our very own Constitution is at grave risk, as is the freedoms that we have in this great nation of ours. This is a man who wants to do mass deportations. But if all of those people he wants to deport have a certain tone of skin color, how many Latinos who are actually American citizens are we willing to trample on their constitutional rights for a Fourth Amendment violation for an unwarranted search and seizure to see if they're a legal citizen? This is also a man who on multiple occasions disparaged our military and our veterans. And in some cases, called them suckers and losers for getting captured or killed. This is a man who has been sued for sexual misconduct and assault multiple times, and has even been criminally charged for it. You have overlooked his grab them by the pussy statement as just locker room fodder. Hell, this fucking guy has legitimate ties to Jeffrey Epstein, but you want to deny it and then instead say that liberal actors who spoke out against him are the perverts that you're wanting to chastise. As ardent Trump supporters, you have constantly moved the goalposts. as to what is acceptable and what is considered dignified and expected of our leaders. You have pounded your chest and screams that he speaks for me. Yet, when he misspoke or said something that was really bad, you go on to say that it was taken out of context or it was twisted by a media with a liberal agenda. And despite many things that he's actually said that are on film and in some cases live fucking TV, you don't get to move the goalpost. You don't get to have it both ways. At the end of the day, if the Democratic National Committee weren't so busy tripping over their own dicks, trying to force feed candidates to us since 2016 that were so unlikable, including a Hillary Clinton that, despite being probably the most qualified, was also the most unlikable, even for Democrats. We got lucky in 2020, which I'm shocked because it was a past his prime Joe Biden. And then we have Kamala Harris, who, let's be honest, she was just as unlikable as Hillary Clinton. And like Trump, she had skeletons in her own closet and had to answer and never did for any of the times that she abused her power as a federal prosecutor. The last three presidential elections are proof that the two-party system is a failure. And the American people need to pull their heads out of their collective asses and actually be willing to vote for a third-party candidate. Because more often than not, they're a much more viable option instead of choosing the lesser of two evils. And I'm fully guilty of this myself. As I said, I'm not mad at you, nor do I hate you for voting for Trump. And this is simply because some of you are great friends and family members. And also, sadly, because I think many of you got conned by a con man, by a snake oil salesman. I happen to feel that a lot of you are kind and decent people who got suckered. But if you celebrate other human beings losing their rights to appease your own, then regardless of who you are, you can actually fucking kick rocks. Because I do draw a very hard line at disagreements politically when it comes to human rights, racism, homophobia, sexism, religious fanaticism, and that you feel that your rights are more important than another person's rights and, well, general human decency. But seeing how you've chosen to go with a wallet that might be a little fuller over the rights of your friends and family who are women, people of color, or minorities, or part of the LGBTQ community. I'm not mad, but I'm severely and utterly and totally disappointed in you. And to be honest, despite my everlasting love for each and every one of you, I will look at you completely and totally different now. Peace be to Johnny.